Hi guys! So this is a new one. I'm in my kitchen today, and today we are doing our slumber party live, which means we're getting drunk on stream, which is gonna be fun. So make sure you come to join me at 6 o'clock on Twitch or YouTube. I'll be there with your girl, do not imagine. Yes, and we're doing a lot today. We are going to be reading tarot. We're going to be doing a mukbang. We are going to be playing Overcooked while getting drunk. So don't miss out. It's going to be fun. But because we are drinking tonight, that means tomorrow I'm going to be hungover. And I like to be prepared. This is something I wanted to share with you guys for getting ready for your hangover day. I like to cook and I have recipes that I want to share with you guys. So I love Asian food, and for tomorrow morning I have planned to make dumpling, peanut dumpling ramen and steam Baozi buns in my bamboo steamer. So I said I'll come in here because I want to get into vlogging and it's kind of like sharing lifestyle and all that kind of stuff, here on TikTok and Instagram. So yeah, let's exchange some recipes. This is a bit of an experimental thing, but I do want to share it because Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is coming out. I'm gonna do 4 days of streaming where I'm going to cook some really delicious food to keep myself nourished throughout all of it, and to reward myself some really rigorous time of diet. I have lost a lot of weight this year, so this is my reward to myself, and these are some of my favorite recipes. So let's get into it. All right, here we are. So I'm gonna start out by making the dough for the Baozi buns, and in order to do that, we're gonna need some flour. We're gonna need some yeast. I got my flour and my yeast from the Polish shop. If you have a Polish shop around you, go get that and go get your ingredients there. Sorry. And regarding the flour, I got the pizza flour. It's the 00 type. It's good for making anything like pizza or bread or pizza dough. Like, it's my go-to flour typically because it's so finely milled. And then that means that your dough is going to be more fluffy, more white. I mean, obviously you can also use the Baozi flour from your local Asian store. That's also great. I haven't used it before personally because I just default to go to the Polish shop whenever I need baking supplies because they're just the best in my opinion. So that's what we're getting. And we are gonna make the filling for both dumplings, the Baozi buns, and we're gonna leave some of this pork for the actual peanut pork ramen that we're gonna make. We're going to use some spices. We'll go over that when we're mixing the meat together. Obviously chives, they add a really great flavor to the dish, so can't miss out on that. We're gonna use some corn flour just to thicken some of that meat, make sure that's gonna go into the actual dumplings. And we're gonna use an egg as well just to bind it all together. So I think without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so for the Baozi buns, first you're gonna start out by measuring out 250 grams of flour. If you wanna go for the full recipe, that's gonna make you around, I think, 12 buns. You would maybe go for more flour, so you could even go for half a kilo, 500 grams. That's what I normally do, but because I am trying to come back to my diet after tomorrow, I'm gonna make less, so this is gonna be a smaller portion. So measure out 250. I got a little bit too much here. 250 grams of flour. Perfect. All right, that works. Once you got that, I'm using my Kenwood kneading machine, but you don't need a machine yourself. It's just I do a lot of baking and I do a lot of bread making and all that kind of stuff. So I would be using this quite often. I have my little list of stuff I need, just in case I forget it. This is my first video, so anyways, and then for the water, so generally whenever you're making any kind of bread, pizza or anything like that, you would be looking at adding for the half the amount that you're putting in flour. So if I'm putting, say, 500 gram of flour, you are looking to add at least 250 gram of water. So that is the general consensus whenever you're making bread of any sort. So since we have added 250 gram of flour to this one, we're gonna measure out 125 gram of water. And that's again a little bit too much. Let me just eyeball it. Perfect. All right. So we are gonna bring this over the heat. Do not boil it. Like, don't even let it get hot. You literally you want to be able to put your finger into the water and you want it to feel lukewarm. So that's what we're gonna do. And before we boil it, you can measure out your yeast. I'm using fresh yeast here. Instant yeast would do, but I would recommend getting fresh yeast, and you can get that in most Polish shops around. So, like, I normally put a lot of yeast. I don't have to put this much, but it just means that I'm gonna have to work with it a little bit faster, which is fine because I'm on the clock. In 3 hours I'll be streaming, so I better get to work. All right, you want to bring this over the heat. Make sure that you put a nice spoon of sugar. Like the Baozi buns, normally you don't have to put so much sugar, but I like them on the sweeter side, so I put like 1.5 tablespoons of sugar, and that's gonna make sure that the yeast blooms quite well as well, because it's gonna be full of all these nutritional values. So, okay, let's bring this over the heat it up till it's lukewarm, and we'll meet back. Alright, so I heated up the water a little bit. As you see, I can touch it, I can put my finger in it, doesn't burn me. There's not even steam coming out of it, and that's what you want it to be at. So you want to make sure that your water is lukewarm and not hot, because you can cook your yeast and that's not good either. It's not gonna work. And I have made a mess out of myself, but it's okay. You want to kind of whisk the yeast in the water with the sugar. The sugar has already dissolved by the time that I added the yeast, but you can add it all together. There's really it doesn't really make much difference. It's all going to dissolve at the end. You kind of want to make sure that you whisk it quite good, because the yeast likes to stick to the pot. And once you have done that, you're gonna want to turn on your machine. I generally go with like number 2 to start with, and you want to add your mixture very slowly so that the flour hydrates itself quite thoroughly. So every now and again you just add a little bit here and there, just like so, making sure that the flour hydrates itself. You can also do it by hand, by the way. There's like, you don't need this machine. I'm just choosing comfort today because I don't have too much time. And you do it like so. Add it bit by bit, small little amounts, and then you can add the rest. I like to put the top in and increase the speed to like number 3 if you're using a similar one. And it's going to feel like it's a little too dry. You kind of want to go for a dough that's a little bit firmer, but still make sure that you have at least half the quantity of water compared to your quantity of flour. I let that go for about 10 minutes, so we'll check in together after that. Alright, so the dough has been kneading with the machine for about 7 minutes. I didn't do the full 10, and the reason being is that I do sometimes like to go in and finish it off with my hands. So you're gonna take a little bit of oil and you're gonna oil a bowl where you're gonna rest your dough. I took a rather small bowl this time because I don't have a lot of dough. And I can set this on the side. And here, as you guys see, dough is ready, kind of like broke in the machine. But it comes off completely from the bowl. As you can see, the bowl is clean. And this is actually, when you get the proportions of water to flour correctly, that's what happens. Normally it will take everything. So here, I wanted to kind of show off kneading. So if you don't have a machine and you want to knead it by hand, this is how you're gonna do it. So first you take your dough, you wanna fold it over your thumb, like so. I'm left-handed, so if you do it with your other hand, feel free. You fold it over your thumb like so, and then you like gently push it in, and then you turn it around, fold it over your thumb, and push it out. And you kind of repeat that a couple of times. I see that this dough has already pretty well developed. As you see, like it doesn't have too much creases on it. It doesn't really stick, so that's normally a very good indicator that the dough is actually ready. So I'm just gonna do it jam, 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 like so, and then I just like, I kind of twist it around, kind of like a pizza dough. This trick I know from my pizza making skills. So kind of like fold it underneath itself to form a little dough. And the nice test to see if your dough has developed the gluten enough is to press it, it springs back. Perfect. So now we're gonna put it here. I kind of like to twirl it around in that oily bowl. And perfect. We are gonna take it and leave it. I've put a lot of yeast, and if you put the same amount of yeast like me, then then you should have it ready in less than an hour, to be honest. But in the meantime, we are gonna make our other dumplings. So let's do that. Okay, so now for the gyoza dumplings, we are gonna make the wrappers. And in order to do that, we need to measure out 140 grams of flour. You can use all-purpose flour for this one. The coarseness of the flour doesn't really matter that much as long as it's not a thick bread flour. So make sure you just get your standard flour. I always use pizza flour because it makes things softer. So we want 140, okay, I got 150, but it's okay. 140 grams of flour, like so. And you can put this on the side. Then I want to get my liquid container. And you are gonna take 80 grams of boiling water. So I have pre-boiled water in a kettle, and I'm going to measure out 80 grams now. So we go like so. Okay, perfect. All right, so we have water measured out like so. We can now take our scale, turn it off, put it on the side. We don't need it right now. Put our kettle away so our space doesn't become too cluttered. And I have my little spatula ready, and we're gonna do something very similar. So you kind of wanna mix the flour around and slowly hydrate your flour, like so. All right, like this. Same situation like with the Baozi buns. We go like this. All right. Now, if you see that it's sufficiently hydrated, you can finish it off. And when you grow some courage to actually touch the dough, you can go in with your hands and start kind of pressing it pressing it together. Make sure that you get all the like craggly flour bits from the sides of your bowl. So you kind of want to just push it around. At this stage the dough should be sort of lukewarm, which is fine. And it's that simple. Gyoza wrappers, you guys, without just flour, just water, no other ingredients are required. Perfect. All right. So once you have a bowl like this, it's sort of soft and warm. You wanna bring it to your board and start kneading it out a little bit. You don't need to develop a crazy amount of gluten on this, to be honest. They are just gyoza wrappers at the end of the day. But you do want to just make sure that the dough becomes nice and soft and pliable under your hands, like so. And I just work it until it stops feeling like it still feels a little bit sticky. So you kind of want to knead it for 2-3 minutes, like so, until it stops feeling sticky. So let's check in after that. Okay, so now that you have this little bowl, you want to take some cling foam or a Ziploc bag would be good as well, just because the dough is still warm. So you kind of want to let it just kind of steam on its own in here, and you're gonna leave it aside for about 30 minutes. So put this on the side, and now we are gonna take care of our filling that we're gonna use for both the Baozi buns and the gyoza dumplings. So let's get on to that now. All right, so here we are with the meat. I just bought the 800 gram minced pork from Tesco's, and I'm gonna use all of this between all the dumplings and the soup. So the first thing that you kind of want to start out with is to divide this meat in half. So you want to have 400 grams for the dumpling fillings, for both of the dumpling types. Obviously increase it according to how many you want to make. And let's talk about the mixer. So I'm so lazy these days. I like to use my mixer to mix the meat as well. So whereas I've used the dough hook for making the Baozi bun dough, I'm gonna use this, I don't know, it's not a beater, it's not a whisk, it's this extension. If you have a similar one, use that one. You can also mix it by hand, and I kind of show you a little trick to do it by hand as well. But I'm gonna be using this little extension for my Kenwood. So let's just divide the meat and get the mixer ready. All right, so we divided a meat. I literally didn't even weigh it. I just cut it in half, and that's it. We don't have to be so exact with every single thing that we do, but you want to put your meat in the mixer. We can get rid of that. And the next thing that you're gonna want to do is to boil 1 liter of water and measure it out. I'm gonna put it in this little bowl here. Well, it's not a little bowl, it's a big bowl, but I'm gonna put it in this bowl. Measure out 1 liter of boiling water. All right, so let's do this. It's going. Oh, okay, a little over a liter. So now we're gonna take our chicken cubes, chicken stock. I'm using this Knorr stock pots. I really like them. They're really handy. One day I'm intending on making my own, but let's see. So because they are for each 500 gram of water, so we have a liter of water here. We need 2 cubes. Let's throw them in like so. And you wanna grab a whisk and whisk it around until they completely dissolve. All right, so that's done. And now we are gonna take, let me check the quantities. we're gonna take about 6 spoons and we're gonna put it on our meat here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's start with that. We might put a little bit more afterwards, but this stock we're gonna use it for our soup as well. And now you wanna take 2 eggs and break them into our meat mixture as well. So these eggs are really breaky. Next, we're gonna take our green onions and we're gonna finely chop that. So let's do that. All right, now that that's done, you want to take half of your onions. Make sure that you have both the white and the green parts, and you wanna save it on the side. We're gonna use it to garnish the soup afterwards. All right, perfect. So let's put that here, and let's get the rest. Throw it in our meat mixture. All right, done. Now you want to take a little bit of ginger and just peel it. And I'm going to show you a nice little trick for peeling ginger now. So you can take a spoon and peel it like so. There it goes, you see? So just do that until all of your ginger is peeled. All right, now you want to take your ginger and chop it real fine. I'm probably just gonna use it about half of it, like so, and leave this on the side. All right, so you wanna dump your ginger in the mix, and next I'm gonna take a little bit of Shaoxing wine. This is kind of optional. You don't have to put it in if you can't find it. You can use like literally a teaspoon of rice wine vinegar as well. It's fine. Or mirin is good. I just find that I actually like to put 2 spoons. Why not? We're boozing tonight, so. And this is also optional, but I like the little hint of flavor, and I just have the very end of my oyster sauce, so I'm just gonna dump it in here. It's about a tablespoon. Every time I make those fillings, it's like a creation of its own. Like if I have stuff in my pantry that I want to use, I just dump them in. Next, you want to put in your soy sauce. Like this, I'm doing by the eye. I just like, that seems good. Okay, that much goes in. And a little bit of sesame oil as well into the mix. There you go. I like a good bit of sesame oil. So next you want to take your corn flour, and we are gonna let's just dry our spoon, and we are gonna put 4 spoons like so. 3. All right, like this. All right, perfect. So now we are gonna turn on our machine, the protector screen. Start out small, let the ingredients kind of start mixing up, and then gradually increase the speed till you reach around speed number 3. And you are looking for a very watery, soupy consistency in your meat. Like it has to come together, but it has to almost fall apart. So that's what you're looking for with the meat over here. Let that go for a couple of minutes until it's all very well combined, and we are gonna meet after that. Alright, so now that the meat has been thoroughly mixed up, I'm gonna remove the screen and just make sure that you get all of it into the bowl. Sometimes the paddle likes to likes to keep some of the meat. It's not exactly gracious, it's not exactly mindful, and it's not exactly demure. We are digging in pork guts, but what can you do? They are delicious. So this is the consistency that I'm looking for. And here, if you are mixing this by hand, you kind of would be doing something similar to if you were treating the meat as if it was a dough. So if you are mixing your meat with a hand, you just take a bowl, you throw everything in, just like I did before, and you kind of like do this type of motion, like you kind of spoon under the meat mass and you press it over, and that's how it goes. There you go. You kind of like mix it around, and this is the consistency that you're looking for. So this is what we are going to use for both of our fillings, for both the gyoza and for our Baozi buns. I'm hoping we have enough, but yes, we are not making a crazy amount of dumplings today. All right, so let's start on the soup, I think. Yes, let's do this. All right, so here we are. Let's take care of the soup. I have chopped the rest of the ginger that I had, and I put it in with the green onions. It's gonna go in all together, so that's all right. We are gonna use crunchy peanut butter. I am a crunchy girl. I love those little bits of peanuts, so we're gonna put that in. We have the rest of our pork, and we have our almost 1 liter of chicken stock. We've used a little bit for the dumplings, but shh, ain't nobody gonna know. So the one thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna chop up some garlic. We're gonna mince it together. We're gonna throw in with the rest of the veggies. I normally add them at the very end because I do like a fresh taste of the green onion, of the ginger, of the garlic. I don't like them to be overcooked. So we're gonna put them in all together. They're gonna go at the end of our soup. We'll go over that. But I took about 5 cloves. I do like my garlic, so I can hold it quite well. To peel it, this is normally a problem for a lot of people. You want to take your garlic, you want to place your knife over your garlic, and you want to press on your knife until like you hear a little cracking sound, and then the peel should come off quite easily. You see what I did there? Perfect. So now do that for the rest and chop the rest of the garlic. All right, now that that's done, I think we have nothing else to do, but let's get cooking. Okay, so we are gonna start by heating up our pan. I'm using this wok. I actually burned this wok before, that's why it has all these marks around here. But it's still good for soup making, so I'm gonna heat it up until this part here turns white. Alright, the pan actually heat up already. I can see that it's mildly smoking, so it's probably because I burnt it. You want to put a little bit of oil and pop that pork that we have placed on the side. Now I'm gonna take my wooden spoon and break it up like so. There you go. And I'm gonna break it apart a good bit, and then you wanna add some salt, some black pepper. I like to add some paprika. This is a sweet paprika. I like to add a good bit because this is a very paprika dish, and this is not like necessary, but I do like to add a little bit of garlic powder as well. So here it goes, like so. And now,
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Alexa, I was not speaking to you.
I'm not quite sure how to help you
Alexa,
with that.
stop. Sorry guys. This bitch be talking on her own all day. I'm really convinced that the government is probably listening through her, or maybe she's just listening. She's becoming intelligent and and she is trying to learn from me, but I don't like her too much. All right, so we do like this and keep stirring it up until until all the pork is thoroughly cooked and lightly browned. Alright, so I moved the camera a little bit because it was steaming all over my phone. Now you want to make a sort of like a little well around the meat, and you want to grab your peanut butter and throw in a spoon, 2 spoons, maybe 3 solid tablespoons of peanut butter. I really like it peanut butter. You know what? I'm gonna put more. I love peanut butter in sauces and in soups like this. So this seems like a good healthy amount of peanut butter, right? There you go. And now you want to mix it around. You see, like so, the peanut butter is going to start to melt. And you want to mix it up with your meat, like so, and try to break it apart. It's going to start to form a little dough almost. Now would be a good time to put in your chili flakes. So I kind of go by the eye. I like it quite spicy, like so, especially when I'll be hungover. And a bit of chili powder. Oh, alright, that is enough. This chili powder does pack a punch. So now you want to kind of mix it up, and now would be a time to add your Shaoxing wine, like so, just to kind of burn all these flavors with a little bit of that Shaoxing wine aroma. Now a little bit of rice wine vinegar. Again, I'm just going by the eye. This is gonna add like a very small hint of tanginess to the soup. Now it's very pasty now, but this is what we're going for. I like to add a little bit of soy sauce at this stage, a little bit of sesame oil. It's gonna enhance that nutty flavor of the soup, like so. Alright, cook it a little bit until you stop smelling the rice vinegar. After which we can add our veggies here, like so. And mix it through. And now would be the time to add our stock. Alright, so just heat up the stock and mix the butter in. The soup will start to thicken up a little bit. Perfect. Now you want to lower the temperature. I had it at top flame. Now I want to lower it to kind of medium heat, like so. Looks beautiful. So now you just want to put a lid on it. And let that cook kind of like low medium flame for about 20 minutes. Alright, so while the soup is cooking, we are gonna make our gyoza wrappers, dumplings. And to do that, now I think that the dough has had enough time to rest. We're gonna open it up like so. Alright, it's a little bit sticky, but no matter, that's why we got flour. You want to flour your surface. You want to flour your your ball of dough, and we're gonna divide it into 4 parts, like so. I'm gonna put them on the side, and I'm gonna form a bowl, like so. So now we are gonna roll out our dough like so, kind of making sure that we flour it quite generously so it doesn't stick to our rolling pin. And we're gonna go like, oh, yeah, I'm not the best at this. We're gonna go like this until we have a fairly thin sheet, like so. So let me meet you back when we finish rolling. All right, so we're back, and we kind of want the dough to be quite thin, like I can almost see my hand through it. So I'm gonna grab my cookie cutter, dumpling cutter. This one is actually a dumpling cutter, would you believe it? And I'm gonna cut 4 circles, like so. Oh. Uh-oh, made a mess. Okay, like so. All right. So we have 4 nice gyoza wrappers. Don't get rid of this, just kind of roll it in a bowl. We're gonna roll it out to get more dough out of it in a bit. Overall, you should get about 20 gyoza wrappers. So let's go and let's make the rest of them. All right, so I actually got about 21, 22 of these. So once you have them done, you want to take them out, and I kind of like to just let's add a little bit of flour underneath. I like to kind of go over the sides with the side of my rolling pin, like so. So I'm holding it firm here on this end, 45 degrees, and kind of rolling down on the edges of the dumpling wrapper, like so. And then it should be twisting around. If it's not twisting around, then add some flour underneath. You kind of want to do it quite gently, and then I like to stretch it up a little bit. So then you take your wrapper, you add your filling, like so. And I'm very bad at this, by the way. I just like to, you see, I'm so bad at this. I like to just pinch them up, like so. You can use one of those dumplings making thingies. I actually have them. I'll show you the next one with it, but I like to practice my dumpling making skills when I make this. So you have your dumpling like this, and then you want to kind of like pinch it like so. And if the meat is sort of coming out some parts, just take it off and you pinch it extra hard, and then you get a little dumpling like this. I'm not very good at this, but I like to practice. Every time I make gyoza, I fold them myself like this. Now let me show you how does it look with the dumpling making thingy. So I got this, and actually the cutter came as part of the set. So you can grab your wrapper, make sure the bottom is nice and floured, and you wanna do the same thing, just to kind of make the edges of the wrapper thinner than the center. That's the idea behind it. It's a nice little prep for when you're doing dumplings. And now you want to stretch it out on your thingy. I don't even know what it is. Dumpling maker? I don't know. do like them quite packed. So you do this and then you close it like so, and you get a nice full dumpling like this. But you see, like, I mean, it's nice if you really don't want to be playing around with plating the dumpling yourself. You can do it, or you can do that and then do what I'm doing now, the hand plate. I mean, I think that the hand plate is really nice. It's a nice opportunity for you to practice your arts and crafts skills. And look how lovely it looks. It looks very rustic. You can see that it was folded by hand. And I really love that effect, because even the folds after that we cook them, you'll see tomorrow, they are actually quite nice texture-wise when you taste them. All right, so let's fold the rest of them. All right, so here are the gyoza dumplings done. Some of these ones, they ended up being a little bit too thin, so make sure that you don't roll your dough too thin, like paper thin, because they end up being a little bit smaller. I'm more happy with these ones that I made from the residue dough than these ones that I made from the main dough. But anyways, they will still be great. But just a little note, sometimes too thin is too bad as well. I have to remind myself that lesson myself. Anyways, these babies are going to the freezer now. But we are not done now, are we? We still have our Baozi buns to do. So I've let this grow in the time I was doing everything else. And you can do that too. It's a nice way to kind of coordinate your cooking so that if you have dough to grow, it can grow nice and strong. Look how it doubled in size. We're gonna punch it in, take it out, and work it a little bit more. It's a little bit slimy from the oil, so yeah, just work it until the oil gets absorbed. Looking back, I should have just put a little less oil. But you live and you learn. That's what cooking is all about. It's a continuous learning process. So you want to work it until it makes a ball again, like so. And now get your bamboo steamer ready. You can use regular steamer as well. I just invested in those because I love my Baozi buns. I make them pretty much every time I have a cheat day. I make Baozi buns. It's my thing. I just love those steamed pork buns. They are the best. You want to separate your dough into 4 parts, just like we did with the gyoza wrappers, and you just want to make little balls like that. You can kind of like fold them on their own a little bit. You don't have to be too crazy about working it too much. You just want to have 4 balls of dough. So that's what we're going for. All right, here we are. So you're gonna wanna flour your surface, get one of your balls, and we are gonna roll it out. This time we are not rolling it out paper thin, so keep that in mind. The dough is a yeasted dough, so it might be a little bit more springy than the other one. Means that you will be rolling it out and it will try to spring back into place. Especially I rolled my dough because I had an excess of oil in it, so you just want to roll it out like so until you reach the desired thickness. Here is your desired thickness. So it's not exactly paper thin, but it's not super thick either. And I'm gonna use this cutter. I've used the other ones. Can I get it? Oh. I'm aiming to make smaller Baozi buns this time. I actually made them last weekend and I made them so huge. They literally were trying to come out of the bamboo steamer. So I'm aiming for a smaller Baozi bun this time around. And same story, you want to cut out your shape and save your dough to then combine all of the remaining dough and until you have all the wrappers. So I'll see you back in a minute. Alright, so I actually got a lot more than I expected. I made them about this thick, so like reasonably so. I will kind of like stretch them up a little bit though, and you want to kind of do the same thing we did with the dumplings, when you want the outside to be thinner. Oh, it's traveling, this one. The outside of the wrapper to be thinner than the inside, like so. Alright, so we take our dumpling, we load it up with filling, like so, and we are gonna bring the dough forward, and this is like, I'm very bad at this, so I normally like pinch them in. It's not cooperating, okay. And I do something like this. I mean, I'm trying, it's not always working out, but the point is to wrap the plating around so that the filling goes inside, and you can push it in, and at the very end, I see I put too much filling in this one, so I kind of like bring it in like so. As I was saying, I'm very bad at this, so don't judge me. Make it better, send me the video. So here we go. We have one done, and actually before we put them on the bamboo steamer, we have to get our paper done, so let's do that. Okay, so you want to take some parchment paper, you want to fold it up, and we are gonna cut out little squares from it so that the Baozi buns don't stick to the steamer. So let's measure it. I think we can make it even smaller. Alright, let's do like this. And we're just gonna cut each half like so until we get all the wrappers that we want. Alright. Like so. The more I need, the more I'll make. But basically, you want to put it in here. It's okay if it's coming apart a little bit. There you go. And then we're gonna put it into our bamboo steamer. We don't want to overcrowd them because they will expand a lot. So just bear that in mind, that they need a good amount of space. So let's make them all and check back in. Alright, I feel like I have to redeem myself, so I'm gonna show you one more time the plating. So I go like this. Again, I'm left-handed. I know different people do it differently, but for me this way makes sense. So I kind of like pull a little bit of dough and pinch it on top of itself, like so, and then when we reach the end, I just pinch them together, and then like I pinch them together like this just to close them. Some of them will come apart anyways, and they will have a little hole in the top, but this is what I end up with. So let's do the rest. Alright, so here we go. I have made a lot of steam buns. They're on the smaller side, but I feel like I've made them way too large the last time, so I'm gonna try to make them mini this time, like so. They are already in their bamboo steamer. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna let them rest for 20 minutes, and we're gonna bring them over boiling water in a wok and steam them for 20 minutes. Alright, so let's go. Alright, so here we are at the cooking part. I have filled up my wok with water. I'm gonna bring that to the boil. Once that starts boiling, I'm gonna put my bamboo steamer in on top of the water that will be boiling. I'm also getting my noodles ready as well. I'm gonna boil them now, put them in the bowl so that it's all ready for tomorrow. And this is how you take care of your hangover, guys. So let's meet in the outro. Alright, my friends, here we are. Before we skip time for tomorrow, I just wanted to do a try test of these lovely bao buns. Let me grab this. So let's taste it. They look beautiful. They're on the smaller side, like predicted, but they're still quite large. And there is only one appropriate way of eating Baozi buns. That is soy sauce and chili oil. I do this homemade from Marion Kitchen recipe. I love this oil. I eat this oil every day with everything. Honestly, like I would eat chocolate with this oil. I really would. Alright. So I'm just swirl it around. Okay. Look at it. Should we cut it in half? I feel like we should. Alright, so normally I would just eat it, but let's just have a look on the inside. Wow, look at this. Lovely, everything's cooked. It smells gorgeous. Alright, I think let's begin. It's so hot still, but I don't care. I need one. Wow. This is not food, guys. This is poetry. I love this. Oh my god. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, I'm gonna finish it. Woo! Wow. Oh. I love it. I'm such a foodie. This is why I got fat. But I can't live without these. Anyways, let's check in tomorrow for plating the ramen. I'm gonna be a lot more disheveled looking because I'm about to start my drunk stream. So, alright, let's check in tomorrow. Alright, so I'm hangover. My hangover breakfast project is on. I have been waiting for this. Like, honestly, last night was horrible. The bottle of wine I drank was freaking disgusting. It was so sweet, and I like sweet wine, but that was something else. So let's get cooking with our ramen. Alright, so first we're doing spring rolls. I had them already pre-made, and I wanted to show you a little trick with parchment paper, because sometimes when you're putting the parchment paper in, okay, my thingy is wet so it sticks, but it doesn't like to stick. So this is what you can do. You just crumple it up like this, and then the parchment paper is gonna take whatever shape that you need it to. So here we go. We are, I think this is enough. I'll save these for later. So I'm making some spring rolls. They're gonna go into the oven, 200 degrees for about 20 minutes. The water is boiling now in my wok, so I'm gonna reheat the bao buns. We cooked them yesterday, so they don't need to go for full 20 minutes. 10 minutes is gonna be enough. So back onto the steamer. In the meantime, we're gonna heat up our pasta. So I saved my pasta here. I'm gonna take it out, the noodles. I pre-cooked them yesterday so that I have less things to do today. Thank you, me, of yesterday who had this brilliant idea. The noodles are sort of falling apart, but to be honest, I'm hungover. I don't care. So you're gonna put the noodles into your bowl and then add some boiling water to heat them up. Just add boiling water like so, and they're gonna heat up. We're gonna strain them before serving with the soup. Alright, so let's get our toppings, ramen toppings ready. I like to put in just some garden peas, put them into a steamer, like so. I'm making 2 portions, one for myself and one for Neff, so that's why I'm putting a little bit more. And I like to put some corn. I'm just gonna drain that. All right. Mix them up. And the other part of my steamer is going to be bamboo sprouts. Sorry, I meant to say bean sprouts. So I'm gonna put this under a lid on the stove and let it steam for about 3-4 minutes. Alright, and now for the dumplings. You want to heat up the pan, add a good amount of oil, and place your dumplings all around, like so. Now continue all the way around. Alright, so for 2 ramen, I like to put 5 dumplings in each, so that's 10 dumplings. Let them start to brownify on the bottom, and once their bottom side is fully brown, we're gonna add some water. Alright, so now that, as you can see, they have brownified a little bit on the bottom, we're gonna add water. And the water will react with the oil, but that's okay. You don't want to add too much, but not too little. Just enough to cover the entire bottom of the pan. And then you're gonna pop a lid on, like so, and let them steam for about 6-7 minutes, something like this. They will expand a little bit. That will be a good indicator that they're ready. So let's fast forward to that moment. Alright, they look ready, but there's only one way to find out. And that's taste test up. Alright, so let's plate our ramen. Our broth, peanut broth, is hot, steaming. Our pasta is reheated and I've drained it from the water. So we are going to ladle the soup with all that porky, peanutty goodness onto the plate, like so, to fill up the pasta. We are definitely making like a busy type of ramen, like so. I'm hungover, I need this. Right now this is life for me. Alright, now we are going to place our toppings. Some of those bean sprouts that we've steamed, I like to put them like so, here in the corner. Now we can go in with our peas and corn mix, like so, in the other corner. That looks sufficient. Now we're gonna take our dumplings and place them on top of our ramen, like so. Alright, now we are gonna take our Baozi buns. Look at them, so beautiful. And we're gonna place them over here. You can lose the wrapper, you can keep the wrapper, whatever. They tend to be a little bit sticky, so I normally keep them on. And here we are, the full hangover Asian ramen breakfast. The this is breakfast hangover in style. Let's do our taste test. I've already tried the Baozi buns yesterday, but let's try this. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. It's got some crackers as well. I have to show you guys how to make these as well. It's incredible. Everything's so fresh and delicious. This is how you don't ever have to order takeout ever again. Mmm. Mmm. Good. Okay, let's try one of the Baozi buns. Mmm. Mmm. Oh, that's the stuff. That hits like home. And I think this is the perfect size because last weekend I did them huge like this. But I basically cut them like I was cutting pizza. My one circle was the size of a small pizza basically. Yeah, they were massive.
Yeah.
But these are perfect. They're perfectly bite-sized. What's the verdict? Did I kill it? Did I bring it home? I'm the hangover one here, but Nefito is always benefiting. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know who you are. I'm about to hit the live stream now on Twitch. If I'll see you there, I'll see you there. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! You don't say bye?
Bye.